Hello, everyone. So, as I was discussing earlier, I went to Bean Brothers, which is between Dallas Fort Worth, and I was looking for uh, batteries. I wanted to see, how cheap I could build a battery and stuff. And so I ended up buying 16 battery cells from him. I got the BMS. This is a 200 amp BMS. This is very easy to hook up. You guys should not be intimidated by any way, shape, or form. I mean, it's very simple. You set your batteries up in the middle at the front where I wanted to connect my wires. I did my first negative. And then next to that, I rotated the battery so it's a positive, a negative, a positive, a negative, a positive, a negative, and a positive. And then on the opposite side, my positive is going to tie to the negative, and then positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, positive. This is where my wire is going to go to my actual inverter charger, my positive wire. I got the BMS. It's very explanatory, but basically the first black one is going to hook up to the first negative on your first battery, and then your second wire is going to be a white wire, and it's going to hook up to the next battery. And all you have to do from there is follow these in an order. Number 2 hooks up here, like I said, the second wire. Number 3 is going to go here. Number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Very simple. Got the wire crimpers, put them on. I connected all these in advance, all my pluses together and all my negatives together, and let them set for like a week so that they could all be at the same battery voltages. Um, it was very simple. I would recommend connecting it, putting your wires out, laying them out in advance first. And then once you get them laid out and you get them the way that you like for them to look, then you can come through and cut these wires to size because they're all very long. On this battery, it has sensor, BMS sensor, so that you can connect it to your phone and you can see how your battery is doing. That blue light right there shows that that is working. It's going to have another set of wires. There's 4 wires, 2 groups going out. One is going over here into the battery bank, and one is going over here. And this is to register and see what my voltages are on my battery so that it will shut off if it gets too hot or too cold. The next sets of wires that are going to hook up to those, like I said, is your leads to each one of these that shows your battery charges. This thing will adjust your charge on your batteries coming out of here to make them all the same level. Then you have 2 negatives that come out. Those are going to hook up to your bar. If this was a 100 amp BMS, you wouldn't have this. And then this strap I just used temporarily, but it's rated for these voltages. So by connecting that, I've got 100 amp coming from this side, and then this is going to go out to my inverter charger. Again, it's very simple. It does create weight because this is 130 amp hour versus 100 amp hour battery. But they've got all kinds of batteries over there. I'd done a lot of research with Bean Brothers or before looking at this on battery hookups, Battery Plus, Santan Solar, all of that. And Santan Solar's got a good pricing on their solar panels, but when it comes to their batteries individually like this, it's harder to get. Where, like I said, Bean Brothers have these in stock. The other thing is that whenever I compared the prices with Bean Brothers on their solar panels, they were so much cheaper. In all reality, probably 20 to 30% cheaper than Santan. So the great thing about this is if you live like in the Dallas or Texas, the area within about 4 or 5 hours of a drive, you can hop in your car, call Bean in advance. You can hop in a car, you can drive down there, you can pick this stuff up, and when you get home, you've got the stuff here. You're not having to wait on it for somebody else to deliver this stuff. Bean Brothers they're nice, really, really nice guys. He will help you out in any way. He'll explain it. I actually texted him today, and it's on a Saturday, and he was able to respond and help me get my final part working, which was the BMS. I'm going to do some other videos on this, but this is not something that you should feel scared to build. It's actually pretty simple. I used a set of, this is a Milwaukee screwdriver. It's a 1,000-volt screwdriver. It's got all the different tips. You can just take and switch them out. I used a small crescent wrench. The reason I use a small crescent wrench is because I've got plenty of room from here to not hit the connector next to it. Because if I hit that, I'll create an arc, and then this is a 48 volt system, so it's a lot of power. The next thing that I used was just a cheap uh, voltage meter. It don't have to be an amp meter, which means this part right here, but this was just a cheap meter. And what I did was, once I got my batteries hooked up, I tested the voltage from my black to the first wire. It should be about 3.7 volts. And then you connect the battery, your voltage meter, to the next one, and it should jump up another 3 volts. You connect it to the next one, it should jump up another 3 volts. So it's going to continuously add up. This BMS, and a lot of them are going to require multiple wires on this one terminal here, but the diagram that he gives you is very simple to understand. Again, this is something that you don't have to be scared of, but if you throw a piece of metal or something across here, you are going to short it out. But as you can see, I've got my hands putting all over it. I've got my wedding ring on. It's not a big deal. I would not wear your wedding ring, but also used a pair of gloves that's for electrical. You can buy those online. Your Home Depots and stuff don't have it. But this is Danny with Living the Dream. And again, check out Bean Brothers Bean Brothers Solar on YouTube. He's got a great channel over there. And everybody live the dream and do something nice for someone.